Welcome to episode 6 of the Gravity Cancel podcast. We're your hosts, Sergeant Spakix and Rox. Rox, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Just realized as soon as you started speaking, I clicked my mouse.
No, we were talking about that. We sound so unprofessional.
We were just talking about that not long ago. Or it was Alumni that called us out on it, wasn't it?
Yep. Well, a little bit. It's
Alumni. I still don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Illumi. Get our fans right.
Aluminum.
Yeah, it's funny because I was listening to another podcast the other day. After because I discussed it a bit with you, I'm like, man, we got to figure out this mouse thing. And then I'm listening to their podcast, and I've listened to their podcast for a long while now. And then I notice it in the background. I'm like, okay, it's not just us.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's definitely different. Well, I wouldn't say different, but they probably did a lot of recording from home due to COVID.
Right.
And we're never going to be going back to a studio. So it's going to be an always problem for us.
We were never in a studio.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get started with a little bit of news. What you got for us?
I called it. I'm pretty sure we mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the Baron podcast, but I didn't want to start yelling.
Yep.
But I called it.
A little bit. And
we got Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. What's funny is we recorded that episode, if I'm remembering correctly, we recorded that episode before they even announced a new crossover.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did because I think the following week we brought up that they mentioned that
announced
they were doing
it.
Yeah.
So, all right, man, you're prophetic. What's the next one? Go.
The next one.
Yeah.
Oof, you asked me too soon.
Too soon.
But
can't see that far in the future.
All right. Hit me with this, or I'm gonna hit you with this. TMNT crossover number 2. Shredder is going to be Azuri.
Oh, that's a good one.
Core is going to be... who's the guy that's with Bebop? What is his name?
Oh, man, we're going to get some crap for this one.
All right. Excuse my keyboard typing.
It's a cowboy. Cowboy Bebop.
Nope, that is an anime. Bebop and...
Rocksteady. Yep.
Rocksteady.
It's like your name. How could you forget?
Rocksteady is going to be Core... And Bebop is going to be Taros, even though Taros, Ready to Riot Taros is already pretty much a Bebop.
They're just going to modify it a bit. Anyways, we called that one right. So congrats to you. And we didn't guess any of the characters right, though.
We didn't get a single character right.
So we did get Donatello as Mirage. We got Leo as Jiro, Michelangelo as Val, and Raphael as Ragnar. What do you think of those?
Pretty good pick. I mean... I do like that Michelangelo, my favorite, was Val, somebody that I do kind of play. So I didn't have to learn somebody that I didn't play just to play as a turtle.
Yeah, and then you made me buy Raphael. Well, you made me buy a turtle, and I'm like, well, I know Qatar, so I'll buy Raphael.
This is the first time I ever even considered paying for one of the crossovers, and I got Michelangelo, the podium, and one of the emotes. Or not one of the emotes, one of the avatars.
Yeah, you dropped quite a bit of money on it.
No.
Yeah, I ended up buying the Share Slice emote. That was too good to pass up until I heard it. And then when I heard it, I was like, why did I spend money on this?
The noise it makes. Oh, my gosh.
It is the sloppiest sounding slice of pepperoni pizza I have ever heard.
What do you think about the new mode in the map?
I actually haven't played the new mode, mostly because I don't have 3 other friends. The new map is really good. I saw you play the new mode with was it one of the developers on their stream?
It was Slosh, Metagame Mike, and I can't remember who else was with them. But yeah, we were playing on Slosh's stream. Yeah. I got to play a couple of rounds with him. I got absolutely dunked on though.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know or hasn't played it yet, it's like a crew battle. It's 4 versus 4, and you rotate through your stocks. So it takes a little while to complete a game.
Right. I think it might be 2v2 whenever you search for it. We just happen to be playing 4v4 on stream.
Oh, you were playing custom, and yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, 2v2 would make it better, but I don't want to disappoint 2 other people.
That's fair.
It's a big enough problem disappointing you half the time. But yeah, what'd you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's kind of the same issue I have with like games like Warzone. It's not like a complaint, but it's like why I'm bad at it. Like when I'm not constantly playing and staying warm, like if I sit there for 5 minutes watching someone else play and then I jump in, it takes me a second to get back into the zone.
Yeah, I get that completely. I got to keep the fingers warm. You know, these old hands, they once they cool down, they stay cold.
Grandpa hands.
So yeah, that's pretty much the TMNT crossover. Really good crossover, like you said. It's the first one that I've spent money on. It was almost immediate. I didn't quite impulse buy it, but as soon as you got all hype about it, I bought.
Oh yeah, I was like almost mad when you said you weren't gonna get it. I was just like, what?
You're right. I had to buy it because we called it. So that's part of the news. The other part of the news, 2021 NA Pro Series starts July 10th. It's going to run every weekend in July, and the V2 Esports colors are available as viewership rewards. Those are like a reddish, blackish color.
Yeah, it's very, very good colors. I don't know why I went like robot mode for a second. I like zoned out. But did you get any color codes?
I didn't, unfortunately. So I caught the rerun of the draft, but I didn't have enough viewer time to get the V2 colors. But I did get one of the V1 colors, and it ended up being Nye, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was hype about that.
So take a guess at who I got.
Is it someone that you play or don't play? You got two, right?
Play. Yeah, I got two.
And you don't play either of them?
Correct.
Mirage?
Nope.
Ada.
Nope.
Man. Who'd you get?
I got Orion.
Gross.
And Sentinel.
Even, like, Sentinel I could deal with, because I feel like he needs that color. But Orion, man, that's not a good one for you.
Yeah.
For as much as you complain about Orion.
I also have the Sentinel, the Storm Steel Sentinel skin.
Ooh, that one's got to be good on that color scheme. I'll have to look at that later.
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's such
I'm getting it. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting like an echo of my voice through your headset.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I'll turn it down a little bit though, see if that helps.
Oh, I hear it.
Do you still hear it?
Let me get a test. Very professional podcast here. Very professional.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with it and cover it with music, anyways.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. So yeah, I didn't get any of the V2 rewards. Did you actually watch any of the draft?
Not really, to be honest with you. I ended up not having time. I used Chrome Remote Desktop to pull it up on my home computer.
Nice.
While I was out on the road.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of it. As such, didn't get any rewards. But I'm looking forward to checking out the tournament. I think are they doing the Cape reward again? I think I saw that on the viewership rewards.
Yes, I think I gave both of mine out, or maybe I think I tweeted one out on the not the World Top TV Twitter, but the
your
Gravity
Twitter.
Cancel Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get a chance to earn some of the things if you missed it last year, if you just recently started playing, some cool rewards. Rox, you want to hit him with the biggest news item?
For any of you who follow us on Twitter, you already know this, but we reached platinum.
We've
finally
done it.
as a 2v2 team.
It took a long time.
This is the first time that Spank Cakes has ever been platinum without paying someone to play on his account.
How do you know I wasn't just sitting there on the microphone?
What do you mean?
As someone else played on my controller, I was just sitting there on the microphone, chatting away.
See, I have no idea.
You don't. I could have paid for this one too.
Okay, that's
But I didn't.
fair.
And I got the final kill to get us to platinum.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. Check the VOD.
Check the VOD.
Actually, I did record our matches, at least 21 minutes of our matches leading up to us getting platinum.
Nice.
So you will get to see that kill if Rox is feeling nice enough to put it in the podcast video.
So perhaps, as two players who, after 2 years of playing Brawlhalla, we finally reached platinum.
Whoa,
we
whoa.
decided to do the what?
It didn't take me 2 years to reach platinum. I got platinum in like 8 months on ones and about a year on twos.
That doesn't sound right. But as people who took their merry time getting platinum, we now feel qualified to tell people how to get good.
I won't say we're qualified, but we have...
oh, no, we're qualified. We're plat, baby.
We have examples of how not to do it. And the reason I wanted to talk about this week is because I feel like you and I practice Brawlhalla the same way. Maybe other games, but we practice Brawlhalla the same way, and we just grind it out. No real rhyme or reason to what we're doing. We just get good through playtime.
Yeah, and then one thing that we learned is, like, you watch Dragon Ball Z, right? You're a normal kid.
Oh, yeah. I was a normal guy.
So remember when they took off, like, the weighted clothing?
Yeah.
That's kind of like we spent so long playing, after work, late at night, tilted and tired, and then we found out if you play at about 3 p.m. Eastern, you just get all the kids who aren't in school yet, and you smoke them. And you're on top of your game. It was like taking off those weighted clothes. You
play like an hour later, though, you get done with all the kids that took way too long on their homework, and you're playing with those kids, and they've spent way too much time playing.
And it's game over.
There's a very prime time to play. But I wanted to talk a bit about that because I feel like the big jump in skill by just grinding it out is like when you're still like learning the game. So maybe the first 100, 150, 200 hours, like you're going to see a big improvement because you're still just learning stuff. And then after that, there's just diminishing returns, and you're going to have to invest a lot of time. If you're not actively practicing stuff, you're going to have to invest a lot of time to actually see further improvement.
Yeah, because you'll get yourself into a lot of bad habits. Like my axe, I very, very rarely use neutral light, and that's just... I'd like to blame it on my controller, just because it's... I don't want to say harder on controller.
It is harder on pad to do, like, to move forward and then do a neutral light, because you got to do, like, a diagonal up, which just feels kind of weird.
Yeah, so I would always just do a little hop and a side air, because that always KOs. But as of recently, I've been training myself, breaking the habit of never using neutral light, and starting to use it a little bit more. Yeah,
I fish a lot with, no matter what the weapon almost, I fish a lot with side lights, and that was a bad habit I developed early on. Slowly, like, making a conscious effort to not. And so, with regards to, like, grinding it out, you can kind of take a more active mindset and looking at, like, the micro game, so looking at things within the game as opposed to the macro game, which is just trying to win. So, like, I was just like spitballing ideas. You could just go a match and play nothing but lights and try to hit all the lights you can with like neutral light or down light, whatever lights you're struggling with. Just like try to hit with those and then open them up, as opposed to like playing your normal game. Or say you always whiff signatures. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but say you always whiff signatures. Play a game just doing signatures and don't whiff.
Canceled.
But here's the thing, it's going to make you better at like not whiffing signatures, because if you're just playing that way, you're going to get punished so hard that you're going to lose a life easy.
Actually, you guys should do that in training mode against the Chosen bot.
I know I'm going to get flack for it. But yeah, so like if you see yourself struggling with like off the map stuff, like I constantly try to fight off the map and lose every exchange. Get a one-stock lead, and then try to fight them off the map. And Lord knows that people in the 1500 range just salivate at the opportunity to play you off the map, trying to get that sweet, sweet montage clip.
Oh, absolutely. And one big piece of advice... oh, excuse me. Oh, I was an inch away from muting my mic. But... Oh, goodness. What was I about to say? I've lost it. The cough distracted me. Oh, now I can hear myself again in your
What? I literally didn't change anything. You need to talk quieter, man. You can tune
shaking
yourself
my
up
head.
post edit.
I'm trying to whisper. So, guys, my biggest piece of advice
a little bit louder. So.
Biggest piece of advice is definitely going to be learn the weapons you can't play against. And this is definitely one of those practice what you preach, bub kind of moments, because I don't know Scythe and Lance, and those I struggle with the most. But originally, I struggled with playing against Axe the most. Forced myself to play Axe, and then now anytime that my gauntlet game is kind of funky for the day, I'll just switch to an Axe character. And Bryn, even Barraza. I was looking on a Brawlhalla tracker and looked up some of my stats, and Barraza has one of my highest win rates, even though I can't play blasters.
You do have that problem.
So good. Here's the thing. I've been trying to figure out why I'm so good with Barraza, and better. I feel like his axe is faster. I feel like overall he's quicker than Bryn, but he's not. He's got 4 speed, and I play strength stance, so he's got 3 dexterity, and Bryn has 4 dexterity and 7 speed. I don't know what it is about Barraza, but I pop off.
Is it
low key?
I mean, he only he has what? 1 more strength, so it's like you're not even getting much more damage off of it.
With strength stance, he's got 2 more strength. Oh wait,
2 more.
Oh, let me double check. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You're playing strength
4, 5,
stance,
6. Huh? Okay, yeah, just 1 more.
Yeah,
I can't see apparently.
Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe you're playing a little bit, maybe your shots are more calculated because you don't get as many of them.
That could be true.
It's probably not with how many times you hit me, but that's okay. So
friendly damage is still damage.
That's true. Does it actually count friendly damage as damage done?
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Or I would have way higher damage numbers.
They'd be like, how did this guy get 800 damage?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think you and I both play, we just play the game to play the game, and we just naturally get better over time. Granted, it takes a lot of time, but we naturally get better over time. But there's other ways that you can approach the game and look outside of it and use outside resources to get better at the game. So the ones that I came up with were guides, watching gameplay or tournament videos, and talking with other players. Do you find yourself utilizing any of these to any extent?
Every time. Every time that I lose a ranked match, because on my last stock I got stuck with orb on Petra, I'll look up an orb guide. but yeah, I will use guides pretty often. I'll just look them up and see what am I missing, or if I play a couple games and I feel like I'm only doing down airs and side airs to try to get start a combo. Why am I not trying other things? So I'll just look up guides and see if there's anything that I'm missing. It's always good to just refresh your memory. Yeah,
definitely. Especially once you start to get into a habit on a weapon, and then going back and watching a video or reading about it, you're like, oh yeah, that combos into that, or if they dodge this way, I can use this attack instead.
Yeah, and then another thing that you need to do whenever you look up guides is see when it was posted.
Yes.
Because there's so many nerfs and buffs every season that nothing too drastic to where combos are going to completely change, but you don't want to look up a guide for Greatsword a week after Greatsword came out, because it's a whole other weapon now.
Yeah, especially Greatsword, because it took such a dynamic change. And I'm sure Cannon's probably the same way, although I wasn't playing at the time when Cannon released. But stuff that was fairly reliable on release with Greatsword doesn't seem to be as reliable now. And then tournament and gameplay videos. This is probably the one I neglect the most. I really don't watch any actual gameplay footage.
I watch a lot of the tournaments. It's kind of, it's I don't know if it's my attention span or what, but even with like tennis matches, UFC, anything that's like sport or sport-esque that I care about, I really only care if it's like Federer versus Nadal in the finals. All right, I'll watch it.
Right.
Or if it's a McGregor fight. All right, yeah, I'm down. So,
but you're not gonna watch, the semifinals of losers bracket, unless it's someone that got knocked out early on that you were excited about.
Nah, at that point, I am watching the tournament. Once you get to semifinals and losers bracket,
you're just not watching
up
pools.
In the winners bracket. Oh yeah, I've even had like multiple people over at my house for like a little Saturday night soiree, and I have the stream pulled up on my TV downstairs, making everybody watch it.
What are we watching?
Yeah, and I'm just like, shut up.
Why is Kung Fu Panda fighting Daryl Dixon?
Do you guys know anything about Sandstorm? Jeez.
Yeah, so I greatly neglect that one, and then with talking with other players, I think the almost strictly online nature of at least where I'm at with Brawlhalla, the strictly online nature does not allude to me interacting with other players on like a meaningful level of actually talking about the game.
Wow, thanks.
But even you and I, we just talk about what we're playing. We're not like, oh man, this attack, if we use this more, it's like you and I don't even talk about team strategy, right? Like we're not like, okay, we're gonna set up this combo.
Yeah.
We don't practice team combos. We don't talk about what leads to what else.
We don't even consider team combos. We're just like, smack them with the pointy end.
No, you're like, oh, it's a team combo because I hit you. I hit my teammate.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, if you want feedback from other players, and actually all you have to do is start a Twitch channel and stream Brawlhalla, because everyone who pops in will tell you everything you're doing wrong.
Everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert, baby. I have actually learned a lot from Twitch viewers, to be honest.
No, I probably would too, if I actually got viewers when I streamed Brawlhalla. But hey, maybe I just need to stream Brawlhalla more. Yeah, so like, I'll admit I don't go out of my way to actually find constructive relationships or constructive conversation with Brawlhalla. I'm sure it's out there, but just all of the chatter I see in like the main Brawlhalla Discord and then like on the Reddit, maybe it's just the toxic side of things, but it's never constructive.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just my experience. And then the last.
But you could definitely find people to play with. And
for sure,
scrimmage with.
Yeah,
especially on the subreddit. The subreddit's a really good place for that.
It's just like I'm used to like going to a physical location and like I'm sitting down talking to someone. Like there's just something more real about that than like just chatting about frame data online, you know?
Yeah. Intimate is the word you were looking for.
Yeah, intimate. I want to get intimate over some Brawlhalla.
Yes. Tell me about that side signature, baby.
This is a family show, Rocks. In-game resources.
Whisper a salt taunt into my ear.
Ew. No. Oh. Peel off that slice of pizza and let me hear those. Yeah, no, we're not going any further than that.
I forgot about the share a slice of moat. I was like, where are you going?
No, let's not go there. Back to it. Let's get better. In-game resources. So, man, I was thinking about this like all day. So I've been playing a lot of Guilty Gear Strive recently because it just came out, and like other than Brawlhalla, that's all I've been playing. And I always struggled to find something that BMG just does not do right, and they do not do in-game resources right. As far as
I agree with that.
So, training mode, I think their training mode's solid. I don't have anything to knock on the training mode. It has everything I want out of a training mode.
One thing, which this is very minuscule and does not help you really, but I do like that you can test out skins before you buy them in the training mode.
That's a very fair point. And that, okay, you know, you're right here. There's two things that I really like. You can check all the skins out, and you can play every legend in training mode.
Yeah.
And realistically, as such, you can almost play locally on training mode, right? Because can you control the second player with a different controller?
I'm not sure, but I mean, you can play local. It's just offline custom game or.
Yeah, but you don't have all the legends. You probably can't
yeah.
because that would be like a great workaround for someone out there. But
Yeah.
but regardless, you can play against bots. You know, any bot you want in training mode. So I will say I didn't consider that, but that's a really good point there. The tutorial, man. The tutorial is atrocious. Have you gone back and looked at it?
I didn't even know. Okay, let's see. Tutorials. Learn how to play. Attacking, platforming. All right, I'm going to go through the attacking one. Oh.
So I will say the one good thing about the tutorials is you get a little bit of gold out of it.
Yeah, you do. Heavy attack.
While Rox figures that out, I'll explain what's going on. He's learning what a light attack and a heavy attack are, which that's great. You know, that's the basis of the game. But that's all it does, and you have to KO the bot one time, and then you're done with the attacking tutorial. Platforming. I don't want to spoil this, Rox. So if you don't,
right, I just started platforming.
Oh, okay. You're already done with attacking.
Double
okay.
jump, triple jump, wall jump, and a drop jump.
Yeah. Oh, they did teach about dropping through platforms, which is kind of cool.
I've actually never seen this map before.
It's like a. I'm picturing it in my mind, but I don't think it's an actual map, right?
No, it's not an actual map.
But it looks pretty decent, actually. So yeah, the platforming one teaches you that you have a single, double, triple jump, that you can wall jump, and that you can drop through platforms. Again, you KO. I think in that one, is it Cassidy you KO? Or is it?
Yeah, Cassidy.
Yeah, so you
play
KO.
as Bodvar.
You KO Cassidy once, and you're done. All you had to do was get up to the platform she's on by jumping 3 times or wall jumping. And then the last one, damage meters, it just teaches you about the different color scales, which obviously if you start out in a white gauge and you go to yellow and orange and then red, red's bad, and you're going to get knocked out. So I think the tutorials really need some improvement, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when we discuss stuff that we wish they would add to the game as far as helping people learn. And then replays. I think replays are a very valuable asset.
Yes, 100%.
As far as learning goes, and I don't use those at all.
I need someone to go back in time how fast it took me to do the training mode or the tutorial mode.
You're done, right?
Yep, I just finished it.
Okay, so yeah, you take someone who just downloaded the game, and maybe they don't go through the tutorial first, but then they're like, man, I'm just getting stomped. I want to go learn some more. So they see, oh, there's a tutorial, and they're like,
Here's the thing. After those 3 tutorials, attacking, platforming, and damage meters, it takes you back to the title screen, and it just says, oh, here's one last tip, and it tells you about dashing.
Oh, really? I completely forgot it did that.
It's just a little pop-up that says, oh, by the way, you can dash.
Does it even tell you what button?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does tell you the button.
I'll check that off the list of things that I wish they would add, because I'm like, it doesn't tell you anything about your movement options. Like, if you're not dashing, like, you're gonna get hit so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, not against those bots I just played.
Oh, that's true. So, what did you think of your tutorial experience?
I thought you were being kind of harsh when you said atrocious, but turns out you were right.
No,
100%.
I sort of have a high standard, because like a lot of fighting games kind of hold your hand with a tutorial, but like you've got to have a little bit more than just the bare minimum. Just a little bit more. It's got to be. It didn't tell
you about spot dodging, weapon tosses, gadgets.
Right.
It didn't tell you about any of that.
It didn't even tell you how to pick up a weapon, right? So like,
I don't think it did.
Yes, it's that you start out the game and you're like, well, where the heck's my weapon at? Like, it's not complicated. I'll admit, it's not a complicated game.
One thing that I like about training mode and the replays that I'm not sure if you touched on was just the fact that you can turn on hit boxes and hurt boxes.
Yes, and especially like going into the replays, you can turn it on after the fact, turn on as much or as little as you want. I do really like that because it kind of gives you an idea of how attacks work.
Mm-hmm. And there's some signatures like Azoth's Axe side signature and Reno's Orb side signature that the animation makes it look like you would hit the person. But if you go into training mode and you have the hitbox and the hurtbox on, you can see where where it'll actually start damaging, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it gets into, you can actually see which frames are active versus startup.
Yeah.
And then also like
the magic words.
The magic words. The ranges on them is another thing. It's like you're like, oh man, I totally hit with that. But then you go into training mode and you're like, oh wait, there's no hitbox there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about Brawlhalla that's kind of weird is the hurt box is just a circle on the middle of your body. Like, it doesn't... It follows you, but it doesn't really change, right?
Uh-huh. I see what you're saying there. With it would normally, like, change in other games. I am very glad, however, that everyone has the same hitbox. The like different characters.
The same hurt box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd I say? Hitbox.
Hitbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And there are a few things that like change it, like Mirage's her scythe down sig, like it completely goes away, and then like Yumiko's it gets really small. But other than that, it's a pretty uniform hurt box, which it's nice and not nice at the same time. Like I'd like something more real than just some amorphous circle around the character.
I agree with that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I feel like I've
go
been talking like 90 miles an hour. I'm really scooting this podcast along. I was going to get to the next part. What in-game resources would we like to add?
Okay, so I have probably... Let's talk about the tutorial first, because I feel like there's just... For not much effort, there's a lot of untapped potential there that like can just take your players that just started out or that want to learn more, and you can teach them how to actually play the game, not just press the buttons on the screen.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them teach about recovery, because like most of the ways that new people are going to die is not knowing how to recover, not knowing that you only have 3 jumps and a recovery. Not knowing that you can dodge towards the map, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Gravity cancel. You don't touch on gravity cancel at all, and it's like it's your core mechanic, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
No, I'm gonna let you go ahead because I keep interrupting you for some reason.
I'm very passionate about this. Like, this is how you get players to stay in the game.
Yeah, normally it's like I say something, then you say something. I say something, and then you're just like, I'm saying something, and I'm saying something, and I'm saying something. I try to butt in.
Illumi's
I like how I cut you off again just now, but I totally just put the blame on you for me cutting you off.
Playing the victim here.
That's not even what I meant to do.
Illumi's going to give me so much crap for running the show and overpowering you, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this.
I'm being bullied.
Gravity cancel. How are you going to have a tutorial and not teach gravity cancel?
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like, what's the bomb training in training mode?
Oh, the like bomb catch?
Yeah, where you like dodge the bomb, or just make it like it throws random weapons and gadgets at you. You're on a small platform and you're just practicing gravity cancel. You have to
like hit, like a target flies at you, you gotta hit it.
Yeah.
But it's always above your head, so like you can't just like jump and hit it. I don't know, something like. And so that's another thing. Like, why are you gonna put a bomb toss mode in training? I guess it helps you catch weapons, but like it's not clear why that's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like gravity cancels are the one thing that really sets your game apart from other platform fighters, and you're not gonna teach people that that's an option. And then just you don't even have to teach like everything you can do with it, just that you can do it.
one thing that I was just thinking of was I was trying to think because I've forced a lot of people to play Brawlhalla that really didn't want to, but the biggest thing that they struggle with off the bat is definitely staying on the platform and jumping specifically. And I was trying to think what would be a good, a better tutorial for jumping other than just here are your jumps. All right, utilize these jumps, but all you really have to do is KO this character here.
I would just
and
say, go ahead. I'm interrupting you now.
Yeah, you jerk.
I thought you were posing a question to me.
But I accidentally came up with a possible new game mode that might be better than like Crew Battle, for example, or Kung Foot.
Oh, so, okay. Let's hear it.
And this is for all 0 of the BMG devs that listen to this podcast. Imagine Angry Birds, or not Angry Birds. I've already ruined it. What was the game that
Flappy Bird?
Flappy Bird, yeah. Imagine like a Flappy Bird thing where your characters like you have to constantly run and like you're just practicing jumps in Brawlhalla.
Oh, dude.
And have like things you have to like dodge past and stuff.
That would be so cool. And then like occasionally there's something like maybe an actual bird, like a fake Flappy Bird that you have to hit, and you get bonus points for it if you hit it.
Oh my god, and we're geniuses.
You can teach gravity cancels that way. Like you gotta hit it with a heavy, but it's in the air, so you gotta gravity cancel hit it.
We're moving to Georgia and we're working for BMG. It's settled.
Yeah,
we're geniuses. Geniuses.
They're like your tutorial and training mode is gonna be a massive part of your game file by the time we're done.
Oh yeah.
No, that's probably the best way to teach it, because like I was thinking something as simple as like instead of putting them on like just the normal map, you put them on Mammoth Fortress with a moving platform, and you got to stay on it.
Yeah.
No, yours is way better, man. Oh, that's a good one.
And then another thing that I feel like would really help, and this kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It appeases one crowd while also giving not necessarily it's not really labeled as a tutorial, but a story mode would help.
Yeah.
Reason being, people that, a lot of solo people might see, oh, a free game, download it, oh, it's multiplayer only, it's a fighting game that I just have to play online people. But if there's a story mode and it's semi-engaging and it starts off you're just playing easy bots, then medium bots, then hard bots, then insane bots or extreme bots, and then chosen bots for like the final. And then if you play the story mode long enough over the course of like a month or so trying to beat these hard bosses, then you'll do just fine jumping into your first free-for-all match.
Right. No, I think we've made a case for story mode for multiple reasons, but one game that comes to mind is Them's Fightin' Herds, which is the My Little Pony fighter, essentially. It came out last year, and like all the
Please tell me you haven't played this game.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh my god.
Don't judge before you check it out. Like, it's got the best.
Are you a brony?
I'm not a brony. It's got the best netcode of probably any indie game out there right now.
Really?
Best story mode, as far as like teaching you stuff. And so like the way it works is like
I like how you kind of reared it back a little bit. You're like, best story mode for teaching you stuff.
Yeah.
Not the story, not the pony story.
The story's not that great, I'll be honest. But what's cool about it is like it's this like little pixelated like platformer. So like you're going through the motions of a platformer essentially. Not trying to fall into pits and stuff. And then you'll encounter an enemy and then you'll fight them like it's an actual fighting game. But the one thing that it does really well is the boss fights. Each boss fight like introduces a new mechanic. So like I think it's one of the first bosses teaches you about zoning, and like in order to beat that you have to overcome their fireballs. Like they're throwing fireballs at you, and you have to overcome that, and so it teaches you how to avoid getting hit by a zoner. So like in Brawlhalla, maybe the first boss in the story mode is this flying creature. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you make it Ragnar and it's a dragon flying around. But in order to hit him, he never comes to the ground. You have to jump up and gravity cancel and hit him.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
So yeah, just like using the story to teach would be phenomenal. Because like you said, 2 birds, 1 stone. You give an additional game mode, but you're teaching new players. The other thing...
So...
Go ahead.
Nope. You go ahead. You go ahead.
All right. The other thing, other 2 things, and we kind of talked about movement a little bit, like teach about dashing, which apparently the tutorial does after you complete it for the first time.
Yeah,
but
like, oh, by the way, you can dash.
That's it. Now go play. We're done with you. Class is over. And then defensive options. It doesn't teach you about dodging at all.
Yeah.
Where were you going with that?
Well, I was going to ask... other than that, what were some other resources you'd like to add? And I was going to ask if you wanted to talk about this neat little graphic that you have out in the bottom of the show notes here.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. Let me cover the other 2 resources I have, and it's advanced training options.
Okay.
So one thing that a lot of fighting games do is like missions. So it'll be like, hit this combo, or, dodge this attack, or dodge this, or block this string of attacks. So like, add in a training mission. It's like, do this combo, and then the character is going to either dodge up or dodge backwards, and follow up based on those dodges. And
I see what you're saying.
You have to do that 5 times, and if you complete it 5 times, it's successful.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're... That's what I was expecting when I opened the tutorial mode.
Yeah, but like
I was expecting like dodge 5 times or hit with a signature 5 times.
Yeah, it's like you could do one for each weapon. Like sword. Okay, do a downlight into recovery, and then they're gonna dodge out of it. Hit them. Hit them if they dodge to the right, or hit them if they dodge to the left. If you guess wrong, then or if you react wrong, not guess wrong. If you react wrong, then you fail the mission and you got to redo it. Recovery off stage. So like, it starts you off stage. There's someone guarding the edge, and get back to stage. And if you get back to stage 5 times, you win, and you get gold or whatever. It's like incentivize. Well, one, you got to add these modes, but then incentivize people to do them. Give them, if they complete all the missions, they get some cool special skin. And then the one that I'm really excited about, because another game just introduced this, and I'm like, man, this would be so awesome in Brawlhalla. So Guilty Gear XX Ascent Core Plus R, whatever it is, it came out in like the early 2000s. It just got an update that introduced rollback netcode, and then this is like, a 20-year-old game. They added this replay option that's like an active replay. So you go to your replay, and then you're watching your replay. You press start, and you enter this you enter the menu, and then you can start from there and take control of your character in the replay.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, so you're like, man, like I don't know what I did wrong here. Let me play through all possible scenarios and see what I could have done different. And then you can keep running it back, and then it's like, okay, now I'm in this situation. What could I have done here? And you can actually play it instead of just watching it. You can actually internalize the action.
That sounds like a programming nightmare, but that is something that like even Forza single-player games have, or at least one of the games that I played. Like if you crash into something, you rewind time and then just don't crash into it that time. Yeah,
I do remember that. I think
just to do another dig at the Brawlhalla training, or the tutorial, not the training mode. I did the damage meter one, and I just jumped off the map 3 times without doing any damage, and I had 0 stocks, and the bots sat there and hit each other till one of them won, and it didn't give you like a fail or success screen. It was just like, okay, you're done.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go in and try to break the tutorial later. See what all ways we can break it. Yeah. Anyways, you alluded to this graphic, so I just threw it in there because it kind of, and for anyone that's not seen, you can't see this.
I'll tweet it out.
You'll tweet it out. Okay. It's a almost just a curve of where people fall in the ranks as far as rank distribution goes, and this one was from March of 2021, and they all look fairly similar that I've seen. So what happens is people reach a plateau, and then they really don't strive to progress beyond that. And I think, me and Rock's just grinding it out is probably the least efficient way to do it. But once you hit a plateau, like, take a break if you need to, but get right back on it and keep grinding your way up. We talked, I'm sure you saw the conversation. We talked a little bit with Illumi in the Discord about it, and like, rank doesn't mean everything, but if you don't have a good idea of where your rank is, you're really never going to find anyone to play with that can really help you grow as a player.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. One of the biggest things that helped me was just playing with Safe. I know he's kind of retired from Brawlhalla apparently, but he'd show up to every single one of my streams, and he would beat me into the dirt almost every time, except a few times that I beat him into the dirt, where he would immediately say, "All right, gotta go," and then just leave. A little salty, but yeah, playing someone better than you is the best way to get better. I mean, that was like my life playing tennis growing up. Always trying to find someone better than you to play with, because that makes you play better. I know personally, and this is probably why I get hard stuck on rank so often, because for the most part I only play unless I just feel like I got a hot streak going on. I play a lot of strikeout and a lot of experimental. Now, people do sweat and experimental, but that's like the warm-up playlist for rank.
Right.
But strikeout is pretty newbie. So I spent a lot of time there, and one thing that I always learned, playing tennis, is anytime that I played somebody that was worse than me or just terrible, like I'm talking like trash can terrible at tennis, I played worse.
Yes. Yeah. If you don't,
it's like you stoop to their level.
Yeah, you're right. And the only way to really like combat is like really limit yourself and handicap yourself on what you can do, and like just practice one thing. But even that, so okay, perfect example of this. So started working on this other project where I play a different legend, and I just I play him for a week, and I'll eventually have a video on it. But I got a legend that I'm not familiar with, not comfortable with her weapons, and I had this. It was a cross player, and he literally he was better than me anyways. Like if I was playing Nye, it wouldn't have made much difference. But he literally killed me with only sidelight on blasters.
Really?
Like, he would just practice the spacing of them and got to the point where he was hitting me with every one of them. So, I don't know. Yeah, you play someone worse than you, figure out a way to... And it's almost toxic at times, but... sometimes you get stuck in queue and you're like, well, what am I going to do? I either leave the match, end it really quickly, or I learn something. If you want to learn something...
The thing about Brawlhalla, if you won't necessarily always play worse because you're playing nothing but bad people in strikeout, but what it does do is all those really simple like the guitar string, the spear string, the gauntlet string, you hit it every single time against all these bad players in these casual playlists. And then you go into ranked, and people know how to counter those strings and get out of those strings and punish you. You don't know what to do because you're used to people letting you carry them across the map with your spear or your gauntlets. You know what I'm saying?
No, most definitely. That's something I had to slow down because like I would just autopilot into the combo, and at a certain rank you're like, well, I can't autopilot into my spear combo now, so I got to react.
Yeah.
And it's easier to learn the right habit than correct the wrong one.
Yeah, I mean, in strikeout, I'm always like, all right, I know how I can get this KO just with a spear sidelight, down light, and then jump side air, the classic KO option. But when you're playing against somebody good, I'm like, all right, I got to catch this guy with a down air, the little bonk on the head with the spear, dash to the right, and then when they bounce off the ground, then do a side air mid-air, do an air attack mid-air. I fumbled that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you have to find more creative ways to KO people that they don't expect.
Yeah, you got to learn to read them and react to what they're doing as opposed to just playing your own game. And that's all a fighting game is. Is don't just, you play their game and you beat them at their game. That's all it is. Anyways, I think that's all we really have for show notes, how to get good or get better. Maybe you look at this and you think maybe I can practice better and make more efficient use of my time. So, I don't know. Hopefully you learned something.
For a bonus tip, don't play Lance.
Don't play Lance, and if you're playing rocks, don't play Cannon. That's his big hatred right now.
Yeah.
So
listen. Like I said before we started recording, if you beat me with any other weapon if you beat me with scythe, hammer, lance, or cannon. Scythe, hammer, lance, cannon. Yeah, that's right. If you beat me with any of those, I'm salty, and I still think I'm better than you. If you beat me with any other weapon, if you beat me with guitars, spear, gauntlet, sword, I'm just like, I was outplayed. Good, well played, fine gentlemen.
I think we were talking a little bit earlier. Our next episode is going to be something to do with weapons and how they fare. So look forward to that. And then we also locked down a guest for episode 10. So we're going to try doing a guest every 5 episodes or so. And I'm pretty excited about this one.
Who's going to be the guest on episode 100?
Episode 100. Maybe we'll let someone else co-host and we'll be the guest.
Or we just have 3 completely random people that have never been a guest just run the entire podcast.
Right,
we're not even in it. Perfect.
We finally get our vacation after 99 episodes. So anyways, you want to close this out, Rox?
Thank you for listening to the Gravity Cancel Podcast. Brought to you by Just kidding, they're not sponsored. Do I have to bleep that? I think I have to bleep that. Anyway,
we're actually sponsored.
Anyway, join the Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Listen to us live. But that's about it. Go out there and get good, boys.
Get good, boys. Peace.
It's going to be funny that I actually have to bleep something in the podcast.